Hi, welcome back, and we're talking with Franco about the carpet industry. And look, it is I mean, you must have seen some huge changes in not only the carpets, but the cleaning methods, the chemicals. It is just evolving just so rapidly.
Absolutely. I mean, I started 28 years ago, and what I do now compared to what I did then, man, they are poles apart.
Yes.
And the thing is that even what I was doing 12 months ago compared to what I'm doing now has changed and evolved.
Wow.
Yep. So there's always new things coming out to the marketplace. There's new processes. There are ideas being generated by all sorts of weird and wonderful people around the place. But you have to be able to update yourself somehow to be able to keep up with those changes or those improvements that you can make to your processes.
And I know we talked about training before, and I remember you telling me the story of when you went and did your first training course, because you've been cleaning people's carpets, and I might just go and do one of these training courses, see what's see what it's about.
Well, see what it's all about, yeah. Because I was at that point, at that stage, that I'll run to either professionalise myself or I was going to remove myself from the industry. And it's just, I just felt there was something more.
Yes.
And then that first training course ever in Perth popped up.
Yep.
The training had only just started in Australia at that stage, and got into it, and oh wow, what an eye opener that was.
Apologies to everyone's carpets prior to training.
Pretty much, yeah. I was sitting there cringing, just thinking, oh my God, how much have I got away with? Just not realising what I was doing, and some of the stuff was very subtle. I mean, for instance, with the stain protectors, use the wrong chemistry on it and you'll strip those stain protectors off. The carpet, for all intents and purposes, will look fine, but it won't perform like it used to.
Yes.
And there'll be no apparent damage because protection you can't see. It's an invisible shield.
Yeah.
You remove the invisible shield, it's still invisible.
Yeah, you can't see it, but it's gone.
Yeah.
So the Carpet Cleaning Association. So you're part of that, and you founded that. How did that come about?
It actually came about from being stuck in Sydney Airport with an airplane broken down on us. There's myself and a couple of other guys that had gone over for a conference in Sydney.
Yes.
It's part of our educational thing, I guess. And I already had a buying group that I'd started up myself, so I had a network of people that we sort of work with, and another fellow had a bit of an idea about sort of marketing, for group marketing.
Yes.
And we struck up a conversation about our ideas at the Sydney Airport, and out of that, the association was actually born.
Wow.
And within 6 months, we had it up and running, and a lot of people thought it was a great idea and joined in, and we're still continuing along that vein today. Been 17 years now.
Wow.
So, yeah.
And I think it's a testament to the carpet cleaners that are out there, that the ones that are going, and I think you use that word, you want to either professionalise or get out, and the ones that want to professionalise are going, well, I'll be part of a professional group, so I get the training. People stepping into it though, and we've had this conversation, and I thought it was really interesting because you've got Prio Training as well, and that's more one-on-one, personalised.
That's right.
Even to the extent that you go out with the person and use their equipment.
Correct.
Now that's a huge thing.
Yes, yeah. I mean, with most training organisations, they're basically coming in from the east, so they come in. They need to get a certain amount of people together to make it profitable, and I mean that's just how it is. Yeah. But they've also got a very limited time they can spend here, so they'll race through the theory. They'll do maybe a little bit of hands-on, but normally it's very limited. And it's just like a quick let's show you how this machine works, and we'll try that chemical there. But they've really only got a day or so to be able to work with it. I don't like that, having come from the competency-based training sphere.
Yes.
My whole thing was, if you're going to get trained, you need to be competent at the end of the training to be able to go out and apply the theory that you've learnt.
Yes.
And whilst it's great applying that theory with machine X on a demonstration day and brand X chemical, how does that translate to your own equipment? Everybody's got a slightly different setup. Yeah,
it's a bit. I suppose it's a bit like when you were saying before, chemicals ain't chemicals, but equipment's not equipment.
No, that's right.
And I know you've been into people. Well, you even advise people on how to set up properly in the first place. Yeah. Because I can imagine sometimes we may be made redundant, and we think, oh, there's a carpet cleaning business for sale. Yep. And you buy something, not understanding what you bought, and maybe that equipment might not be what you
Yeah.
be the best for you. But what I do like about your training is you actually step in and go, okay, we're not going to use my gear, we're going to use your gear so you know your gear.
That's right. It's all about optimizing your results. At the end of the day, that's what you're doing your training for, to get the better result. Okay,
Yeah.
so there are so many different variants on machines. They'll have different temperature characteristics. They have different setup characteristics. They'll have different chemical flow characteristics, and everything needs to be in the right balance.
Yeah.
With my years of experience and the training that I've had, I can pretty much jump onto any piece of equipment anywhere and get the best out of it. Okay, that's where my forte lies, is understanding the whole process and how it all comes together.
Yeah.
In cleaning, we talk about it's called Sinner's Circle, the chat pie, the tack pie, but basically it contains 4 different elements, which is chemical, heat, agitation and time, which is a chat pie.
Yeah.
Okay, so you need to understand the chemistry and how that's going to work, heat and how that's going to work, because that's a huge factor in it as well. Agitation, what sort of agitation can we use? I mean, you wash your hands, you don't just push your soap on your hands and go, oh yeah, I'll just rinse it out now. There's some agitation that needs to be involved. Okay, so there's that side of it as well. And then there's time. Okay, if you can't get as much heat into a system, it's going to take more time.
Yes.
So you need to understand that side. If you can't use a more aggressive system or a chemical system, then it's going to need more time. But if you can increase your heat and your chemistry safely on that particular fibre, you can reduce time. You might reduce agitation. And each machine is different. So you've got to look at the balance of those to get the best outcome for both you and your customer. Okay, because for you, time is money.
It certainly is.
That's right. And if you start using the wrong chemistry on it, you might end up using too much, and then you're wasting money.
Yeah.
Okay, or you're then damaging the carpets, and that's no value for your client. So as I said, understanding those 4 basic concepts within the cleaning situation gets you the best result for both yourself and hopefully your ongoing customer.
Someone who's looking at this now, and it's just occurring to me, and they've, for whatever reason, they're having a career change, they want to work for themselves, they've been maybe redundant, whatever it is, because there is a big change going on in the marketplace in Western Australia. And they're looking, can they come to you and engage in the training and get your advice so they get set up right from the get-go?
From the get-go, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
Now I know I've had a couple of trainees that have gone and bought all their stuff,
Yes.
and then come to me for training, and then I've looked at their gear and gone, you could have got a lot better value for your money.
Yeah.
I know one guy who spent $26,000 on his gear, and it was a boat anchor, quite literally. It was, he was unfortunately in too much of a rush to go into it. I don't think he researched it quite enough. But now that he's started training, his goal is to be able to get himself up to a better level. So now he's working within the capacities of his equipment and getting a better result for it, but then he can actually save the money up to replace that equipment with something that's a little bit better performing for him, so that as he goes on in the future, things will be a lot easier.
Beautiful. Someone in that situation now, and I can imagine a lot. Western Australia, where we are, the employment circumstances are so rapidly changing as well. It's a great industry to get into. What's the best way of someone contacting yourself, Franco, so they can get some of this advice and get this training so they get off on the right foot?
Okay. Well, you can go straight to my Prio Training website. So it's literally Prio Training, P-R-E-O training.com.au. You'll see some information up on there about the courses I provide. There's an application form in there as well, and there's a price list as well. And basically, you can do them as one-off modules. That's the most expensive way to do it. If you want to do it as a group of modules, there are discounts that apply, and there's an automatic discount if you're a Carpet Cleaning Association member as well. So if you want to go through the whole lot and become a member at the same time, and by the way, if you do become a member, the savings you get from being a member actually are more than the cost of the membership. So you're really quite insane if you don't, because there are a lot of ongoing benefits.
Yeah.
So, getting that membership up with the Carpet Cleaning Association and doing the training is the best way to go.
Fantastic. Franco, once again, it's been fantastic, and they can jump onto your website for the spot cleaning chart now.
Yes.
Frank, jump onto Prio Training website for those that want to get into the industry. There's so much more. I can't wait to have our next chat.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thanks for joining us, and we'll be back with more with Franco or Prio when we can get him back into the studio when he's not out there fixing some of the mistakes other people have done, like my soda water and Epsom salts. Anyway, until next time, take care.